Of the third and vital quarter of football, where we see 4-5-29, both sides all tied up as Geelong and District Footy League into attack. Welcome back, Johnny Turkey Watson.
Yes, we're on with the action, and the action's about the same as what it was when we left it. We've got another scrimmage, but the umpires decided to let play go on, and it's back towards Big Hank Badil. He's hovering over the ball, and nothing much happened. But just talking to a few of the supporters in the club rooms there at half time, and they seem to think it was pretty evenly matched and not a bad sort of a game.
No, certainly. Good contest. And just for the listeners watching the telecast, the player wearing number 4 in the first half, Corey Flanagan, is now wearing number 16. So don't get confused if we call Flanagan wearing 16 because it is him.
Right, that was due to Vincent. Vincent off the back flank for the Karanakat side, but his kick was smothered off the boot, and we've got a good strong mark up there by for the Geelong and Districts there in the forward pocket area, and we've got Ashley Davey it is, and he could put an opening score on the board fairly early in this third quarter. He's about 35 metres out from goal on a bit of an angle, but I think the wind may have dropped just a tad while we were inside, but it's a good-looking kick off the boot, and the fact it's a sausage roll. It's straight through the centre, and that's taken Geelong and Districts under 5-5 to KNT 4-5.
Well, Ashley Davey has kicked his third and keeping up with his reputation. He's been averaging around about 4-5 goals every Saturday for Corio at home. And a ruck rover on baller, half forward, loves to kick it through those big sticks.
Bit of a quiet achiever, just sort of sneaks up on you. I didn't realise he had 3 goals.
Yep, 3 goals, 2 for the game so far out of a tally of 5-5. So he's done quite a good job.
Only two goal scorers then for Geelong and Districts because Jonesy's got the other 2, the opening 2 goals of the match.
Good call, Turkey.
Okay, back in the centre now, we've got Big Hank Badil. He hasn't done much. He usually thrives in big game footy like this, but hasn't done a great deal, but perhaps he got his chance in the second half.
This could be his half of football, and, obviously a veteran of many games, and there's a bit of a push and shove. Jacko loves the physical stuff. Obviously McCarthy does as well, and I think you'll find that there could be another interesting encounter for not very much in the distant future.
Chuka McCarthy's a bit of a dag. He's a fair player, but he'll cheat if he can. It comes across towards Scotty McFarlane, and he gets it over there towards that player there in Corey Baxter. Baxter's kick is taken at the back by Gary James, over towards Brett Stouty. Brett lines up towards goals, but he's impressed me, Cowie. Cowie's played a great game at full-back, looking at better players in the first half, and he'd have to be amongst them for sure. This time it's kicked towards a half forward line, but it's relieving for the Geelong and Districts that was across there towards handball, chain of handballs. It comes back to who the first handballer actually there in Simons. Simons kicks down towards half forward for his side. A big grab there by that player there in Skirmer. It is Schremer. It's a bit hard to say that name. Schremer, yeah. Schremer,
the big German.
Yes. Nevertheless, he's played a good game anyway. He's been in the play on many occasions. Geelong and Districts there through that number that's been changed was Flanagan. Flanagan's wasn't all that constructive though, and the ball's forced out of bounds there by Vincent, and we'll see a boundary throw in on half forward for Geelong and Districts.
Been reasonably impressed though with Flanagan's commitment at the football, and has tried tirelessly in that first half. And I had him down as their third best player in the first quarter, and one of the better tries in the second quarter because it was very tough, wasn't it, in that second term?
It certainly was. In a matter of interest, both sides have got their leading forwards off the ground. Big James Bury's off for the KNT, and also Taekwon is off for the opposition for Geelong and Districts. So that's evened the ledger a little bit there as we see the ball sort of shuffled along that boundary line area, and it's a boundary throw in now on the half forward line, almost in the forward pocket for Geelong and Districts.
It'll be interesting to see when Drew Gurney comes back on, if he picks up Andrews, because he's been running him around a little bit, and the big fella, I think, just trying to slow him down. Interesting duel there. No real big influence on the game. No disrespect to Gurney at all. He's been quite strong in defence, but Andrews, it's a bit. What I'm trying to say is, not a real big influence, is there? That particular position.
Well, we were talking about the game at half time, and to pick a best player on the ground for the first half, I think would have been impossible because nobody really had any real effect on the game. But as we pick up the game once again, it's at half forward for Geelong and Districts, but it's cleared there along, kicked by Jude. In fact, Jude has played a good game when you think about the number of times he's been called. And it comes back out there where McFarlane waits and can't pick it up, and it comes back out towards Jones. Jones there dives back on the ball. It comes back towards Geelong and Districts. The umpires let the play go on a bit now. Comes out there towards Jackson. Jackson turns, kicks the ball towards where it's Vincent flew high and comes down there to Camarato, and his kick is out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
Again, good pressure. Geelong's handball's not quite pinpointing. They're just making the receiver wait rather than run with the flight of the football, and they happen to be forced to use the ball under pressure, and that's creating a lot of mistakes, as you can see at the moment.
Yes, it certainly is. And we've got a free kick there now, and it's going to be Jones, it is, from the back pocket for the KNT, and he kicks down towards centre wing, perhaps not quite the centre wing. Players fly. It's a mark there going to Ian Clark. He's a big game player, played a good first quarter, then kicked a goal in the second when shifted into attack. So it's Ian Clark, undecided, but then decides to stand and kick towards the centre wing. Big fly there. That was Plover Stowey. He flew high, almost. I think that was good enough for a mark for mine.
I'd have paid it.
It looked like a clean grab, but the umpire wasn't happy with
as
it.
he gets up off his hands and knees and hands the ball back to the umpire and says, "What have I got to do, son? Eat it."
They tell me a couple of weeks ago at Francis he took the mark of the year in our league, and he's not frightened to launch himself into the air. Only a little guy, but he certainly gets the ride every now and again. We got the ball bounced down to take place on the outer centre wing. Scores 5-5 Geelong and Districts. KNT 4-5, and McCarthy swiggles and squirms and gets out of trouble, and it comes to where it's relieving Scott Simons. It is Simons, kicks towards centre wing. Players waiting for it there, and it's the big man there. Was it the big bird, or was it Vilkins? Vilkins it was. Gets puts a player under a little bit of pressure. Comes back out to where it's tried to be sold off the ground by Stowey. It was. He can't quite get a clear kick at it, but it's scrimmaged around McFarlane's over the top of his opponent, but it's scooped out to the direction there of Jackson. Jackson gets around onto the right foot. He's got Jones. Jones, he's just hoping for a good bounce. He hoped for a bounce. He bounced off an opponent. That was the only bounce that went on there that favoured him. Comes to Big Bedell. He two-handed punches it out. What's happened there?
And Bedell just gives Traeger one right in the midsection. A beauty.
In the breadbasket.
Got that, young Harry.
He needs the oxygen tank, I think, at the moment, and it's nothing to do with diving either. He just needs a bit of air. But it comes back out to Chuka McCarthy, going to relieve the back pocket. And it's a funny thing when your wind's knocked out. Everybody laughs except you. And that's just the way that guy's feeling right at the moment. The ball's back out on the outer side, though, and the game's starting to hot up a little bit as we've got a strong passage of play. Players diving on it, and comes back out where it's a good tackle, but it's shoveled out there to the direction of where it's kicked to McFarlane. McFarlane fumbles the chest mark, but then eventually takes it, kicks in towards half forward, but it's Cowie! Oh, he goes to put it on the ground. His back wouldn't bend. He was a foot off the ground. It still played on, and he turned defence into attack. And here comes Hank Bedell again. He's starting to sort things out. Carves his way through another pack and gets a good handball there to Winter. Winter kicks in high, looking for Hector Clark. He's having a run on the ball now, so Hector looks around. He's got a player up forward. There's only one there. Now Cowie's there as well. He's the defensive man. This time he's caught out of position, and it comes there to Roger Gibbs. Gibbs kicks across the ground. He's got a loose man there if he can take the mark. He can't take the mark. It goes to the ground. That was Jones. And
gee, what an opportunity gone begging there, Johnny. But, well, the kick from Gibbs wasn't a good one again. It forced the player to stand under the footy rather than run into it.
Yes.
Too well weighted.
When it was sort of always getting further and further away from him, and he wasn't in the position to have a fair dinkum go at it. But now relieving it's Fraser back on the ground. I don't think we've called him before. Fraser kicks towards the outer side. McCarthy's there. He can't take it. Good play there, but McCarthy sockages along the ground. Watch this fella get the quick kick away, but it's smothered off the boot. Play on Zakorn. It's on the outer side in front of the scoreboard. 4-5, plays 5-5. A goal of difference favouring Geelong and Districts. As we see a player for the KNT kicks the ball in where it's players go to the ground. Oh, what's It was almost too high. The
Yeah.
player there was 11. That was Cousins. I thought he was tackled too high as he slipped to
Yeah,
the
I
ground.
think Johnny was very harshly dealt with there by the Geelong umpire and Mark Null, I think you'll find. And yeah, very unfortunate for him. McFarlane doesn't mind, though, for the KNTs because he's got an opportunity to kick his second six-pointer. It'll test him, though, Johnny, because he's 45 metres out through slight angle.
Yes, it's a pretty tough sort of an assignment from there for Scotty McFarlane. Kicking right into the face of that wind. He's given it a good old
Beautiful
ride. What's he
kick.
done with it?
He
He
Put
wound
down
up
your
the left foot.
glasses.
He wound up, and he's a long-legged, long-striding lad, and he wound up that big left foot and put a real heave-ho on it.
Beautiful kick. That's
It
probably
was.
one of the goals of the afternoon for mate.
Yes, it was actually. It was, well, I never took too much notice of the 50-metre line. He must have been nearly on 50. A lot
Yes.
of good footballers can't kick 50 metres, and he did it into the breeze.
Certainly, yeah, lovely football and yeah, doing quite a good job for them on that outer side centre wing. Back to the middle.
Back in the
Fine,
middle, and
Alan.
we got the scores locked together once again. Hank Bedell tries to take the ball. There was a soccer there by Vilkins that was deemed as kicking in danger, and it goes to where McFarlane had it. He tossed it across to Jones. So he'll kick back down towards the upside down. Well, yeah,
A
have to
mongrel
say-
punt,
it
I
was,
call that.
I was going to say that. It wasn't one of them junior giraffe kicks. It was a mongrel punt for sure. But it was a screw punt going the wrong way. But after all that, it comes back to it's marked by Cousins. Cousins to the outer side, and he's found a teammate. Oh, he drops what he should have taken. Plays on the call, but he recovers well. Gets back down where a mark's taken there for Geelong and Districts.
Yes, it is, and it's a nice mark, Brendan Jackson. Jacko looks up the oh, gee whiz, it's an up and under. It's a terrible kick. But, oh, great Mark Jones. Sydney Jones feeds off the hand pass to the run of Nappy's Colliger. Left foot kick from 35. That is now the goal of the day. A lovely football, pussies. Geelong District Footy League kick their sixth.
The game's starting to open up a little bit, isn't it? It's we went through a real period of stalemates in that second quarter, and all of a sudden scoring's become a little bit easier. Players have decided to run to the open spaces, and we've had 3 goals scored in this third quarter. And once again, Geelong and Districts moved to a 1-goal break.
Yeah, certainly, and I think Johnny, a bit more purpose in their attacking the ball, and they're controlling it and being a bit more decisive, rather than having all those bounce downs and throw-ins and
Well, I think
tap-ons. and-
perhaps they've gone through the testing out stage too, and now
Certainly.
they decided to get out there and do their own thing and perhaps forget about what the other guy might be doing. From the bounce down, it's Jones runs into a heap of trouble, and the umpire says bounce down again. We got big bad Drew Gurney
Yeah,
back on
there's
the
my mate
ground.
back again. Let's see where he goes.
Straight over
Straight
to
over to Andrews.
Straight over to him. Yep. He'll make his presence felt. From the bounce down, we got McCarthy soccering the ball off the ground. It comes back out there towards Jones. Jones is just put under pressure, and it comes there towards that jumper that's been taken. Flanagan it was, just trying to pick him up. It was Corey Flanagan. Comes back out where it's just a period of play where it's soccered from one foot to another. Now it comes back where K&T punched the ball forward towards Hector Clark. There's a passage of play where somebody goes down behind play. K&T's free kick, is it, or a boundary throw in? I think it's going to be
K&T's.
K&T's free kick, and it's kicked high towards half forward. Nobody under the ball that can make any real use of it. McFarlane couldn't pick it up. Comes back out to where we've got the number 11 there, and Cousins. Cousins goes to ground, good pressure. Comes back out to Stouty. Another wrestle on play. This time Hank Bedell.
Yeah, a little bit of
Just a little bit,
undisciplined football, I'll call that.
just a little bit too strong on the player that didn't have the ball. That's putting it mildly.
Yep.
From the kick, it comes towards the centre of the ground. A wrestling match comes on there between Vilkins and his opponent, but it comes back out where it's the 12 Jackson. Jackson with a neat pass picks up a teammate, and it's Jackson has found O'Toole. So Mark O'Toole.
You can just about put down this one as well. He's a beautiful kick for goal, this kid. Normally plays at full forward, but since Tyquin's been appointed as captain coach this year, has been playing on the wing. He's lost a number of pounds, and on that occasion, the old cliche, isn't it, that you wrap him up and they let you down
Just
every
put it
time.
down. A good-looking kick, though. Yeah, the goal umpire was in the right spot. It was a good kick that went crooked.
He's lost about 3 stone in weight, Mark O'Toole, and
He's done well.
yeah, a big effort,
Yes,
big effort, and
it was a good kick too. But obviously, just it didn't quite. In fact, he allowed for the wind too much. He kicked it straight, and it went straight.
Yeah, well, O'Toole is actually playing at full forward now, so...
From the kick-off, it's Jude, and that's one man that can kick straight and long. Straight
beauty.
towards the centre of the ground. It comes towards Vincent. Vincent punches the ball in front of McFarlane. It comes out towards Jones. Michael Jones kicks towards half forward. Players standing there. Nobody can take the mark at the back of the pack. We've got a relieving player for Geelong.
Spicer.
Spicer it was for Geelong. Kicks towards the commentary position here. Brett Stouty over it. Look at the determination on his face. Brett Stouty works hard, keeps it in play, and he runs into some players there, but he kicks the ball. Whoa, it's drifting around. And under the ball there was Simons. Simons took, well, what was a relatively easy mark in the end. The wind just carried it across in front of his body, away from the opponents, and he took a relieving mark there at full back. So it's Spicer kicks now back towards the centre half forward. Jones, Michael Jones it was, edged an opponent out but couldn't take the ball. And there's a clever bit of play there by... it was Cornwell. Cornwell down to where Vincent couldn't take it. It's scooped out by Drew. Just trying to pick up the player there in Gurney. Gurney it was. Yes, Gurney and Vincent combined, but the ball went out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Gurney there with a high fly there by Membry. He couldn't take it. There's players over the ball. Comes K&T, get the handball out towards McFarlane. Scotty McFarlane steadies and props, decides to kick long towards half forward. Good kick into the breeze. This time it's a good relieving mark there by Simons, and Simons relieves to the outer side.
Yes, playing very good football, Scotty Simons. Last night on defence for the Geelong District side. Elects to go to the outer side of the ground. Looks for the racehorse there in Fraser. Dazin Fraser goes out wide, but I think you find he's kicked it too wide, and Sydney Jones can't quite get there in time. Out of bounds. 50 metres from the Geelong District Footy League, and it's early stages of the third and a vital quarter as we see 6-6, 36. No, it's not 6-6, it's 42. Geelong District Footy League, they lead the K&Ts 5-5-35. 7 points the margin. Midway through, I think you'll find of the third quarter, there's been a mark taken, and I think you'll find it looks like Nappy's Colliger, is it? Trying to pick him up. Good work. Little sharp drop punt pass. It's hit Darren Fraser nicely. And it was Corey Flanagan, I think you'll find, that passed the footy. And he turns around with his new jumper on, number 16. How good am I? Johnny mucked it up again. It's number 12 in Brendan Jackson. And I apologise to you, Brendan. Opportunity, Darren Fraser. The two Werribee Central boys combine. Lovely goal. Okay, Gibbs comes off the ground now for the K&Ts.
James Bury warming up, about to come back on. He was the player that was injured. It's a pity that we haven't seen much of James Bury because he is a spectacular footballer, but just hadn't had the right opportunity to show us what he's made of. But at the moment, Geelong District's just sneaking away. 2 goals in front now, 7-6 to 5-5, and it is the third quarter, and they're kicking with the breeze, and we've talked about these important third quarters before. What's going to happen in the remaining of the quarter? We've just got to wait and see. As it comes back there to Collinger. Collinger with a high kick towards half forward. Players fly. Vincent got the tap down for K&T, but sharking the ball there was a good play there by Flanagan. It was once again in jumper number 16, but a wasted opportunity. Went to the boundary line. It was the easy way up, really, because the wind was going that way, and it's a natural way to go, but a centering kick would have been much more advantageous. Yes, from the boundary throw, we've got a good shark of the ball now, though, and is it a snapshot for goal? The umpire moves right across to his left-hand side, his right-hand side, actually, and through for another behind. So Geelong District's just sort of frittering away the odd opportunity. They've kicked a couple of goals, so they've done okay, but there's a difference between okay and all right, perhaps, in a situation like this.
John,
from the kick-off, it comes off McFarlane's hands to Jones. He's done a lot this quarter, Michael Jones. Comes down to where the big burger slides in on his knees, does one of his customary handballs to Brett Stouty. Brett Stouty goes on there and finds Schreimer. David Schreimer now would be maybe within kicking distance. It's on a normal day, you'd say, yes, no problems, but the wind does funny things kicking that way. It's coming sort of across his body. If it hits the boot neatly, it'll be okay. The slightest bit of error and the wind will come into effect. So here he is lining up. What's he done with it? It's a good looking kick. It's a strong kick. And I think it's a goal. It is. It's 6 goals. 5 on the board now to K&T. Geelong District's 7-7. So that was an important answering goal into the breeze halfway through the third quarter.
Yes, certainly, John. And so I think there's some moves been muted by both camps. I'm just trying to pick them all up. But, well, that particular one was Shermer. Well, he started at centre-half forward. He's done all right. He's kicked a nice goal for them, and he's given them that opportunity now to get within 7 points again. Bounce down to the centre. This time it favours the run there of the number 10 Guernsey on the ground now in Lester Ross, the captain coach on the ground for the TNKs. I should say K and T's. I've got all the K's and T's mixed up here, mate.
There's too many mixing with the A's and Z's, but a strong mark there by Bedell. So Hank Bedell wants to play on. He's got a loose man, but it's a woeful kick. It doesn't favour anybody in particular. Now we've got players running on the ball. Brett Stout, he looks like he might have the run of it, but the boundary line is going to win out. He's shepherded by Cowie, but it's a boundary throw in the KNT forward pocket area, half forward area. It's just outside 50. Waiting for the boundary throw in now. It's Schremer there against it's Bird. Rest of Ross on the ground. He's a talented player. It comes to Ross now. He weaves his way through the pack, punches it back towards the Corey Baxter. Baxter goes to the ground with a heavy tackle, and it comes back where Jones didn't want to know too much about that. He put one hand up when two would have been a lot better value, and it comes back down where it's punched forward there by Jones. Jones, that is for Geelong District, on to Jackson. Jacko goes down, got a player in a long lead. That's a wonderful pass, and he's picked out a teammate there deep in the forward pocket.
Been very busy, Brendan Jackson, and a consistent performer for the GDFL, and his third quarter quite convincing at the moment. He's set up an opportunity here for the young Mark O'Toole, who is playing at full forward now for the Geelong District side. The left foot kick is an absolute beauty! A ball burster!
From the boundary line, that was a wonderful kick for goal, right from the boundary line, and that was number 10 there in O'Toole, Mark O'Toole. And it's goals like that win matches. It could have easily been just snuck through for a pointer or behind or across to the face of goals, but it was a wonderful goal from the boundary line, and I'm starting to like this game now. There's just something about it that's really got a little bit of appeal about it now.
Yeah, certainly. His ball is moving up and down the ground quite well now. Their skill level is obviously picked up. They've settled down to the task, and I'm sure we're in for a crackerjack remainder of this great game.
And we've got Jones forcing his way through there now. Pack of players developed. The pressure's still there, but every now and again we get players bursting through. But that was Fraser, it was, on the bottom of the pack for Geelong and Districts. He gets a pat on the back from his teammates for Endeavour. E for Endeavour, a big E it was actually. He tried hard. From the bounce down, it's Hector Clark gets the punch forward, but it doesn't favour anybody on his side. Comes back to where Chuka McCarthy is there. Oh, he goes down. Oh, nearly a free kick there. Comes back to Scooter McFarlane. He gets one for his trouble. Caught with the ball. Holding the ball's the call. A boot goes in from McCarthy, and the umpire picked it up. Chuka McCarthy wasn't malicious, he was just trying to get the ball forward, but it was there, it was in danger, and it's a free kick there to Brad Spicer. Brad Spicer kicks down towards half forward for his side, jostling position. Jones gets bundled down at the last minute. Big bad Gurney. He gets it across there to Jones. Jones kicks as a wild one, goes towards Fraser. Fraser bombs in long. He's got a player there in front.
Good grab.
Takes a good grab in front of
being
Jude.
On the right side of your
again,
opponent, that's what it means, using
Mark
your brains.
O'Toole, he plays on quickly, and he's got Jones, the goal kicker in the first quarter, 2 goals in the first, and he's going to line up for his third in the third.
Good grab, wasn't it?
It was a good grab, and there's plenty of action to call now. It was a little bit hard to get enthused in the second quarter, but things are starting to really hot up there, and both teams are making the most of their opportunities.
Certainly now, Daryl Jones, Sid comes in. 40 metres, drop punt, splits the centre of the woodwork, right over the goal umpires, tit for tat. It's all clear. Daryl Jones kicks his third, and a very handy 9th goal, I think you'll find, is it?
It is the 9th goal, and that's a 3-goal break, so Geelong and Districts just starting to sneak away.
Certainly, and let's just hope that rain stays away. The wind socket just whimpering in the breeze. Nothing too strong at the minute, still favouring the right of screen, but maybe the advantage is not quite as strong as it was earlier in the day. 9-6-60 GDFL, 6-5-41 on the APCO Easy Shop third quarter scoreboard.
From the bounce down, it comes from Hector Clark towards Jones. He's been really busy, Michael Jones, in this quarter. Goes to ground. In fact, he's been busy but hasn't really created much. It's been at the bottom of the packs and not really getting much reward for his effort. From the bounce down, it's Hector Clark having a run on the ball, giving Bedell a much-needed spell, and it comes down towards Jackson. Jackson can't do much with the ball. I think the umpires are going to have to bounce it again. We've talked about giving free kicks to open things up, but in situations like that, if they're not there, they can't pay them, and that's all there is to it.
Certainly, Johnny. Bounce down, a good one as well. Favours the big bird on this occasion. Quick kick up in the air. It's okay, Cornwall. Great grab. I think you'll find he's paid it. Yes, good work there from
Gibbs.
I think you'll find it's Gibbs, or was it Bates? Bates
Bates it is.
Yep, Mark Bates now. The boy from, where's that? Kaiba.
It's Kyvie Bolite, if you want to get it correctly.
Kyvie
Kyvie
Bolite.
Bolite, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did all right that time, the boy, because he found his teammate up the ground in Vincent.
They haven't got a pub, but they've got a post office at Kyvie Bolite. As the ball comes down towards half forward now, we've got a scrimmage of players there, and the umpire will call for a bounce down. Bounce down on half forward for KNT. And another goal now for them would be pretty handy. Just to even things up. There's a 3-goal break now. Perhaps starting to slip away a little bit for KNT. But they're doing a little bit of attacking now as it comes towards McCarthy. McCarthy's well shepherded. Lines up from the outer side. He's kicked the ball hard into the breeze. It's a centering kick, but under the ball. It's the easiest of marks there for Scott Simons. Judged it to perfection. Made it look easy, but to be easy, you've got to be in the right spot. And he did it well. Simon's undecided now, though. He's looking for somebody in the half-back area for his side. It's a high kick. He's blazed away. He's given everybody an opportunity. A high fly from the back. It's a high fly there.
What a great grab.
And
Nevada Cornwall, I think you'll find.
And a little guy gets up with it. It's Cornwall. Played a good game too as he kicks the ball towards the attacking side. Now another good grab there, and this time not quite as spectacular, but it's there by Michael Jones. Michael Jones tried hard in this third quarter. He's really put in and done a lot of good things. Jones now drives KNT back into the full forward area. Another high fly. This time it's the big burger. Oh, have a look. Number 30 there. Scott Cow, he didn't like that. He was...
Well, he reckons he had his hands on the ball first, and I tend to agree with him.
I think he might have, but when you've got a guy that's about 6'6" and strong as an ox, it's pretty hard to hold it for too long. And the big burger lining up.
Interesting reaction, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The burger lines up now, 25 metres out. I bet he'll make the distance. I don't know about the rest. What's he done with it? He's put it straight offline. There you are.
Well, the big fella's not happy. Just pushes Nevada Cornwall out. Get out of my way, son.
Swatting flies.
Okay, what's Cowie going to do? Scotty Cowie.
He's finished with the antics and now he's on with the kicking.
That's it.
It's a long kick too, right to the 50-metre line. It's a strong, high fly there from, that was Flanagan it was. It was the reverse.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, another kick smothered off the boot. We better get back on with the action. We've got Corey Baxter diving on the ball, but there's been plenty of spectacular things happen in this third quarter. Ronnie, it's been a good quarter of footy all round.
Yes, certainly has. Plenty of excitement. Yep, some players really starting to show their wares and talents, and yep, good to watch as we see now the big bird doing battle with, that looks like Hector again, and he's doing all right on the ball, Heck. As we see Stewie Scott, the old twanger, come in and defend grimly there for the Geelong District side. And the ball is on member side, centre wing, just to the right of the commentary position here at Narra Court, South Australia.
From the boundary throw in, it's Hector Clark, buses his way to the front, looks for McCarthy. He can't take it. It's in close quarters, close to the boundary line, and Scott takes the ball out of bounds. So twanger it was, had the ball in his possession, but boundary line was too close. Ruckman setting themselves once again, and it's Bird versus Clark. Clark with the height advantage, Bird with the strength, bustles his way to the front and gets the tap down, comes there towards the direction of Cozens. Cozens gets to advantage of a teammate there in Fraser. Fraser kicks is marked in defence by Bates. Bates now kick the ball back from whence it come. It's not a bad looking kick towards half forward. The big burger flies, and I think he's interfered with somebody. It is Schremer. He looks like he might be the culprit. He said, was it me? It was somebody, and it's Twanger. Twanger with the free kick. It's a little pop kick, a short one in there towards 21 in Simons. Simons now with a long kick towards half forward. Players setting themselves. Hector Clark's there, gets first hands on it, comes down towards Vincent. Vincent shrugs off a tackle and gets a handball towards Clark. Clark, the big man, does the roving and gets it to his Mandala teammate there in Brett Stouty. Brett Stouty played a top game on centre wing, kicked strong and long towards half forward. Players under the ball, almost a mark there. Good enough for a mark, I'd say, to Vilkins. Vilkins had
Geelong umpire too. There you go.
A good grab of the ball, and
Bit like you in the under-17 game, being hard on your son. I think the Geelong umpire being a bit hard on the Geelong player then.
well, he was. And believe it or not, that was. Must be having fun when time flies, because that was a quick quarter, wasn't
Went
it?
like that, didn't it?
We didn't even mention the time clock. All of a sudden, the siren sounded. Three-quarter time here at Naracoorte in the big interleague clash between Carra-Naracoorte Tatiara Football League and Geelong and Districts. And looking at the scoreboard now, it's going to be an advantage to the visiting side. Geelong and Districts 9 goals 7, KNT 6 goals 6, and the stage is set for a magnificent final quarter here at Naracoorte, with the KNTs going with the breeze, but it hasn't been a big factor during the day, so it's a 3-goal break or gap in the margin, and well, taking the breeze factor into it, it's pretty evenly poised.
My word it is, and that was proudly brought to us, that third and vital premiership quarter by the Abco Easy Shops in and around Geelong. The one-stop shop that's got the lot. They're down at Sunnybourne Heads, Newcomb, North Geelong, East Geelong and South Geelong. Hope you enjoyed that third quarter. We'll be back with the action of the final stanza shortly.